Isang masayang pagbati na may ngiti sa aking mga labi. Naghahanap ba kayo ng makakatuwang sa pagre-review ng inyong anak? Meron yan sa DepEd. Ang ETUlay online tutorial ay libre at handog ng ating kagawaran sa pangunguna ng OUA ICTS EdTech. Ito ay isang proyektong makatutulong sa mga mag-aaral, katuwang ang mga magulang o kasama sa kani-kanilang tahanan para masagutan at maunawaan ang mga modules. Hangad din ng programang ETUlay ang matulungan ang ating mga guro sa kanilang mga blended learning classes. Ang ating ETUlay ay mula kinder hanggang senior high school. Bukod sa academics, meron din tayong mga special programs gaya ng All is Wellness, Reading and Math Remediation, Storytelling, Mommy Tech Talks, Classes sa Gramatika, Speech Class, Financial Literacy, at marami pang iba. Pinalawig din ng ETUlay ang ating Alive program para sa mga mag-aaral mula grade 1 hanggang grade 3. Gayon din ay mayroon tayong ALS program at SPED tutorials na makasisigurong makakamit ng lahat ang inclusive education. May SPED hotline na rin para sa inyong mga katanungan patungkol sa special education. Kaya, subaybayan mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, mula 9:00 ng umaga hanggang 7:00 ng gabi ang ating ETUlay. Sa ating pagtutulungan, maiaangat natin ang bawat isa. Ating itutulay ang pagkatuto upang di mapigil ang pag-aaral ng kabataang Pilipino. Itulay natin ito, sulong edukalidad.
Mabuhay! Good day to all! I am your tutor Madge. Welcome to ETUlay, a free online tutorial, an initiative of the Department of Education, Information and Communications Technology Service, Educational Technology Unit, ICTS EdTech. This program is aimed at helping and assisting learners from kindergarten, senior high school, ALS, Alive, and SPED learners. Aside from answering the modules, the ETUlay is offering programs which you will surely look forward to. Together with our parents and teachers, the ETUlay will bridge the gaps where difficulty and ease meet in learning new knowledge and skills. So, let us prepare our module, pen and paper. Ready your mind to see and hear worthwhile and interesting lessons. Let us now study and learn together with our volunteer online tutors. Tara na!
Yes. Hello,
Good
mathletes.
afternoon.
Kumusta po? Good afternoon.
Good
Kumusta po,
afternoon,
Ma'am
Tutor
Joy?
Well. Mabuti
Hello.
naman po kahit maulan. Isang magandang hapon pa rin po sa lahat.
Yes, so kumusta lahat ng mathletes from all over the Philippines? Diyos marhainal daw po. Before anything else, mathletes, coaches, everyone na nanonood po sa atin ngayon, babatiin po muna natin si Tutor Joy ng happy birthday. Again, Tutor Joy,
Thank you so
happy
much.
birthday po sa iyo. Ilang taon na po si Tutor Joy?
Okay, isolve po natin yan, Tutor Well. Ayan. Ayan. Thank you so much po sa pagbati, Tutor Well. At gayon din po, binabati natin ang lahat ng ating mathletes, ang ating mga math coaches at math Husay schools na laging nakatutok sa ating DepEd ETUlay sessions. Welcome po sa ating quarter 4, week 4 session ng ating DepEd ETUlay. Yan. Pwede po bang mag-shoutout, Tutor Well?
Yes, pwede, syempre po. Since birthday mo po ngayon.
Okay, sige po, salamat. So, shout out ko po unang-unang aking family, Villarreal family po sa Caloocan City at ganun din po ang aking mother unit from Caloocan National Science and Technology High School headed by Mrs. Priscilla T. Catanawan. Magandang araw po sa lahat. Ayan, salamat po, Tutor Well.
Siyempre, babawi din naman ako ng bati. So again,
Ayan po.
mathletes, coaches, welcome to another Mathalino Day Friday sa ating DepEd ETUlay online tutorial. So this time po mayroon kaming division training sa Kamsur where it is about script writing and video lesson editing in math. So sa mga kasama ko po, we are now on our second day ng training. Hello po sa inyo. To our SDS, Ma'am Loida, our ASDS, Sir Swen, Ma'am Sarah Christine Godoy, our EPS, Sir Ronald Enciso, to Ma'am Sonia Moral at sa lahat ng aming co-participants po, hello po sa inyo. And also to Sir Janelle, sa mga ka-department po namin dito sa Ocampo National High School. Ma'am Eva, hello po sa inyo. So Tutor Joy, alam ko excited na ang ating mga mathlete for this week. Kaya,
Yes
ano pang
po.
hinihintay natin?
Yan,
Okay, by the
simulan
way,
na natin, Tutor Well.
yes po. Binabati rin natin, kasama po natin ang ating director, si Tutor Adhil from SDO Bataan. Hello, Direk. Eto
Hello,
na.
Derek. Ayan,
So,
sisimulan na natin, Tutor Well. Kikilalanin natin ngayon kung sino ba yung mga mathletes nitong nakaraang linggo, yung mga nakasagot, nagtry at kumasa sa ating weekly math challenge at nagbigay ng tamang solution at tamang sagot. So simulan natin kay Philip Ray II, El Mancera, from Quirino National High School, SDO Isabela. Congratulations sa'yo. At sino pa
congrats. And
po?
also, Mathlete of the Week, we have Ina Isabella R. Yadaw from Quirino National High School.
At nandyan din si Micah Rain C. Campos from Quirino National High School, SDO Isabela. Congratulations!
Yes, we also have Mathlete of the Week, Jasmine Ness L. Bukag from Quirino National High School.
And we also have Janeline G. Espiritu from Quirino National High School, SDO Isabela.
Congratulations. Meron din, nandyan din po si Audrey Carmina E. Macaranas from Quirino National High School, SDO Isabela.
Congrats.
Okay.
And we also have John Carl Centillas from Ocampo National High School, SDO Camarines Sur.
And the last Mathlete of the Week po natin ay si Gerald S. Cultivo from Ocampo National High School. So congratulations po sa 8 mathletes natin this week from Ocampo National High School and Quirino National High School. Next, Tutor Joy, ang ating mga math coaches of the week. Sino-sino sila?
And so for this week, we have 2 math coaches and they are Sir Junwar Direction from Quirino National High School, SDO Isabela.
And we also have Math Coach of the Week, Sir Carl Justin V. Condino from Ocampo National High School, SDO Kamsur. Aside sa Math
Ayan.
Coach, we also have Math Husay School of the Week. Coach
Ayan,
Joy?
kung saan pinakamarami, meron tayong na-recognize sa pinakamaraming Mathletes of the Week for Quarter 4 Week 3 session. We recognize Quirino National High School from SDO Isabela as our Math Husay School of the Week. Congratulations po at maraming salamat lagi sa pag-suporta.
Yes.
Virtual
So,
cup naman po tayo.
okay. So, for this week, eto na nga, Tutor Joy, nasa week 4 na tayo ng quarter 4. So, malapit na matapos. Our topic this week is about measures of possession of group data. Kung last week, natutunan po nila yung pag-construct ng frequency distribution table, this time, magsusolve na po mismo sila ng measures of possession. So, ano kaya yon? Ano kaya mga objective natin this week? Pero bago yon, Coach Joy?
Ayan. Of course, we would like to always acknowledge the Cordillera Administrative Region, DepEd CAR, as well as the SDO Camarines Sur for sharing with us their materials as our references for today's session. So, shout out po sa lahat ng mga taga DepEd Cordillera Administrative Region at sa SDO Camarines Sur.
Yes. Hello po sa inyong lahat. Now, this time, at the end of the session, you'll be able to, so athletes, take note, you'll be able to calculate a specified measure of possession. So we have quartile, decile, percentile of group data. Also, to interpret measures of possession. And the last one is to solve problems involving measures of possession of group data. Alam kong kayang-kaya nila ito, Coach Joy. Coach Joy,
Opo.
sino po yung mga athletes natin ngayon na active sa comment section po natin?
Ayan, tama ka dyan, Shooter Roel. Ang dami nilang nagko-comment at kitang-kita ang kanilang shout-out, katulad ni Lyra Joy Domingo, Laika Gumiran, Jillian Ibanez Manuel, Miriam Yadaw, at nandyan din si Harchi Ramos Dansalan, Percival Velasco Jr., Angelu Viloria Bitamog, at Alisa Chloe De Leon. Sa iyo ba, Shooter Roel, sinong mga bumabate?
Meron din. Nandiyan din si Philip Ray, si Janeline, Miriam, Gerald, Kyle, and the rest of the athletes na tumututok po talaga sa ating ETUlay Math 10 every Friday from 3:40 to 4:20 p.m. So, eto
And
na.
Well, remind lang po natin no, na i-share na nila itong ating Facebook Live sa kanilang mga group chats at Facebook groups. Huwag pong kakalimutan.
Yes, eto na. So, for this one, alam ko po, ready na sila at excited po akong sabihin ulit ito, itanong. Athletes, are you now ready? Alam kong ready na, so let's get started. Kasi you are all #matibay. Eto na, we have quick review challenge. May 4 quick review challenge tayo ngayon, Tutor Joy. Ano kaya yung number 1? So,
Ayan, for the first item. So, ready na kaya ang ating mathletes sa ating comment section? Pati ang kanilang ballpen at notebook? Yan, simulan na po natin. For number 1, how many students or the number of N were all involved in the survey? So, let's consider the frequency distribution table below. And let's answer the given question. Is it A, 29, B, 30, C, 31, or letter D, 32?
okay.
Yan,
Ano kaya
pakitype po.
Si Ina may sagot po, 31.
Yan,
Kahit
may sagot
patapos yung
ka agad.
Okay. Very good. Now, Coach Joy, the answer is?
The correct answer for our quick review challenge number 1 is letter C, 31. Marami silang nakakuhang tamang sagot, Tutor Ruel. Good job, mathletes.
Okay, very good. Now, how about number 2? So, athlete, for number 2, what is the size or I of the class interval? So, we have A, 6, B, 7, C, 8, or letter D, 9. It is the class size or class width. Ano kayong tamang sagot dyan? Is it 6, 7, 8, or 9?
Ayan, napapaisip na sila, Tutor Ruel.
Yes, sa
At
10 to
may
18.
sumagot po.
Ano ba yan? We have D, C, D, letter D din, letter C. So, dalawa po, Coach Joy, yung sagot. It's either C.
Common.
Okay, and the answer for number 2, it's letter D. So, paano nakuha yung D? You will simply subtract 18 and 10, tapos magpa-plus 1 pa. Or, simply subtract po si 19 and 10. 19 minus 10 is 9. Okay. How about number 3?
Ayan, good job sila. So, may ilan lang na nalito. For number 3, Tutor Roel and Mathletes, let's answer the question, what is the lower boundary of the class interval 28 to 36? So, ayan po naka-highlight sa ating FDT. Is it A, 18.5, B, 27.5, C, 36.5, or letter D, 45.5?
Okay, ano pa yung sagot? Sa ibang reference po, that is LCB. Sa iba naman, LB. So, pareho
LB.
po. Ang sagot po nila, Coach Joy, sabi ni Harchi,
Ayan.
B, Gerald B,
May
Philip
nakita
B.
kong A at B, sir. Ayan, karamihan B, pero may nakita din ako sumagot ng A. And shout out din po sa mga nanonood sa ating YouTube channel. Ayan.
Okay, hello po sa inyo. And now the answer for number 3, that is?
Letter B, 27.5. Let's recall na kapag sinabing lower boundary, we simply deduct or reduce 0.5 from our lower limit. So, ang lower limit natin sa class interval na yan ay 28. So, minus 0.5, that's 27.5.
Wow, galing. Now, how about number 4? For number 4, Mathletes, the question is, what is the less than cumulative frequency below the class interval 28 to 36? Is it A, 7, B, 16, C, 18, or letter D, 26? Again, less than cumulative frequency below the class interval. To get the less than cumulative frequency, pwede kayo magsimula sa pinakababa, starting with 7, tapos dadagdagan nyo na ng frequency hanggang pataas, na dapat ang pinakataas niya ay 31, the total number of responses or data. Sabi po nila, Tutor Joy, letter C. Okay, may iba
Ayan,
din.
marami pong sumagot ng C. May D.
Okay, and the answer for number 4, that is letter B, 16. O yung iba po nalito, okay lang po yan. Paano nakuha yung 16? Remember, below po. Okay, nakalagay dyan. Yung 18, that is the less than cumulative frequency. Kaya lang hinahanap yung nasa baba niya. Kaya ang sagot, 16. Okay po, so para guided kayo kasi mamaya, gagamitin po natin yung less than cumulative frequency below the class interval. Oh, Tutor Joy, ano po yung last question?
And for our last question,
Number
ayun
4.
na yun, yung item number 4. Practice lang. Ayan. So, Tutor Rowell, nakita natin, no? So, medyo may nalito lang dun sa last item. Kasi yung word na below that interval, yung sa less than cumulative frequency. So, ino-note natin yun, Mathis, para hindi tayo malilito as we start solving for our problems for today's session.
Yes, and also, Coach Joy, batiin ko lang si Miriam and Harchi. Wow, naka-perfect po. 4/4. Very good.
Ay,
And also,
gano'n.
and si Angelo din. Okay, so this time, Nathletes, alam ko familiar na po kayo sa FDT. That is the Frequency Distribution Table. Pinag-usapan natin that FDT is a tabular presentation of quantitative data grouped into numerical intervals. And also, it is a simple and effective method of organizing and presenting numerical data so that one can grasp an overall picture of the data set. So from that raw scores, from that ungrouped data, pag present na po sa frequency distribution table, mas maintindihan natin kung ano ba yung naging resulta. Ano ibig sabihin ng given data? Saan ba mas marami? Kung kumusta ba, medyo maliit ba o mababa ba yung mga score or what? From that, pwede maging guide yon in terms of decision making. Tama po ba, Coach Joy?
Tama po. And that's the reason why last week, importante po na doon natin sinimulan kasi there are times that the given data are ungrouped. So, hindi ibibigay kagad na naka-group data. So, if that's the case, then we should learn how to do or to create a frequency distribution table.
Yes. So alam ko, alam na nila yon. And also, review lang ulit natin. There are steps in constructing an FDT. So we have 7. It was presented last week na may 7 steps. Ano-ano yon? For number 1, that is determine the range or R. Ang formula niya, it is simply subtracting highest value minus lowest value. So ganun lang kasimple. Iso-subtract lang natin, kukunin lang natin yung difference ni highest value at ni lowest value. Ano po yung sunod?
At syempre sa step 2, nandyan din yung ide-determine natin yung number of classes which we denote K, no? Using the letter K. So kapag halimbawang i-determine na natin ang number of classes, we can also apply the formula which is getting the square root of n. At tatandaan natin that capital N here is referring to the total number of observation.
Yes.
What
So,
about for our third step po?
idagdag ko na rin po, Coach Joy. Say for instance, ang na-compute yung K ay 5, there will be an instance na ang number of classes will be 6. Pwedeng 5, pwedeng 6. Pwede siyang umabot ng 6 as long as na hindi pa nako-cover yung highest value sa given data. Okay po? Now, for the third step, eto na yon. Solve for the class width or I. Para ma-solve yun, eto yung formula. You will simply divide R and K. So, R divided by K. Eto lang, dito lang siguro nagkamaling iba. Make sure na once you divide it, ang gagawin, you will round to the nearest add integer. Nearest add integer. If it's 6.7, round to the nearest integer, it's either 5 or 7, mas malapit siya kay 7. Okay po? For the fourth one, that is,
and for the fourth step, we need to complete the first column of our frequency distribution table. And that is referring to our class interval. So, paano natin ginagawa yon? So, for example, we will start with our lowest value as our first lower limit. Ayan. Then, we will have the next step.
okay. For number 5 naman, fill in the frequency of each class interval. Siguraduhin lang na mamarkahan like i-encircle or slash para hindi maulit yung given data. Okay po? And for the sixth one,
Okay, so we will proceed by completing the lower class boundary. So kanina sa ating quick review challenge, meron dun isa sa mga example, no? So sa pag-identify ng ating lower boundary, we just have to reduce 0.5 to each of our lower limit. So bawasan lang ng 0.5 ang bawat lower limit natin. And yun yung column for our lower class boundary or LB. And lastly,
step, we have fill in the less than cumulative frequency. Okay, so FDT po natin, we have 4 columns. We have class interval, frequency, lower class boundary, and the less than cumulative frequency. Ito po yung ito yung sample. So we have here. Now, alam ko Coach Joy, ready na po sila to solve the measures of position of group data. Ito na yon. Siyempre, unahin natin si quartile. So nakalagay po, to find the quartiles, we will determine first the quartile classes. Alin ba dyan yung quartile class na hinahanap? Say for instance, we're looking for the first quartile, second quartile, or third quartile. Okay, now, the quartile class is the class interval where the kn over 4 data is contained. Again, yung formula na hanapin para malaman kung aling quartile class yung hinahanap is kn over 4. Okay po? Next, Coach Joy.
and of course, we also have to use the following formula in solving for Q sub K. Ayan. So, hanapin natin kung ano ba yung value ng Q sub K by applying this equation, LB or the lower class boundary, plus Kn over 4 minus less than cumulative frequency, yung below. So, yung data below that less than cumulative frequency all over the frequency of the quartile class. And then, with that expression, you have to multiply it with the class size. Yun naman yung ating I value. So,
Yes.
we have addition, lahat na ng operation, no? May addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Lahat na po dyan sa formulang yan.
And alam naman natin na magagaling ang maths po natin with the basic arithmetic, di ba po? Alam kong kayang-kaya nila yan. Pero if medyo challenge, pwedeng gumamit ng calculator. Okay?
Yes.
Eto na. So consider po the frequency distribution on the number of Facebook reactions of cover photos of different students. Now, we will calculate the third quartile. Kung mapapansin po ninyo, the given table is similar last week. So same problem po yung gagamitin natin, pero ibang measure naman yung hahanapin natin. Okay, now, to do this one, number one, we will determine the third quartile class. Paano yun madidetermine? Sabi natin kanina, gagamit tayo ng formula. It is the class interval that contains the kn over 4th data. Ito yung gagamitin natin para malaman kung anong quartile class ba nandoon si third quartile. Okay po? Ito na. Location of the third quartile class is equal to, ito na po yung solution. What is k? That is 3. What is n? That is 30. Over 4. Bakit 4? Kasi quartile. If decile po yan, magiging 10. If percentile naman, magiging 100 ang denominator. Okay po? Now, if you have a calculator, pwede nyo isolve. 3 times 30 is 90. And i-divide ba natin by 4? The answer is 22.5. Tutor Joy, anong ibig sabihin ng 22.5?
Ayan. So, dito po sa ating 22.5, hahanapin natin ngayon kung nasaan yung, this means na yung third quartile ay nandoon sa 22.5th position. Tama po ang basa ko, no, Tutor Well? 22.5th position. So, hahanapin natin saang class interval kaya meron do, na kalocate yun. Yan. So, since we are talking about measures of position. So, we have to proceed. Yan. So, inonote po natin na yung 22 or 22nd, yung ika-22, to 26, ika-26 na data ay kasama sa saang class interval kaya? Ayan, doon po sa 33 to 39 class interval. So, from the bottom na class interval, yun yung pang-apat. So, kung from top naman, yung ikatlo. 33 to 39 class interval, dyan po nakalocate yung nahanap nating 22.5th position. Ayan. So,
Yes.
that
So,
means...
bakit po hindi ka 12 to 18? Bakit hindi kay 19 to 25? Bakit hindi kay 26 to 32? Kasi kung Coach Joy, kung titingnan po natin, yung kay 12 to 18, may 6 lang na frequency. Yung kay 19 to 25, bali 12 na sila lahat. Yung kung hanggang 32 naman, 21 pa lang. Again, kung hanggang 32 na, to 21 pa lang yung frequency. Kaya lang yung na-solve natin ay 22.5. So, since kulang yung 21, dun tayo kay 26. So, at 26, that is 33 to 39. Okay, di ba? So, the 22.5 data is contained between the 22nd and the 26th data, wherein the third quartile belongs to the class interval of 33 to 39. Tama po ba, Coach Joy?
Tama po, Tutor Ruel. So, math tip lang din, no, while solving. So, kung meron na kayong frequency distribution table na nakasulat sa inyong paper, it will also be helpful kung imamark na natin yung class interval na yan. So, we already know at this point na yung third quartile ay nakalocate or contained siya doon sa class interval na 33 to 39. Kaya dyan din sa ating visual, naka-highlight na yung class interval na yan.
Yes. Okay, ano naman yung sunod na step? Again, nahanap na natin kung aling class interval nakalocate si third quartile. Ang sunod po, eto na. We will compute the third quartile using the formula. Mag-solve na agad tayo. So may 2 steps lang. Unang step, alamin kung anong quartile class. Next step, isolve na gamit yung present nating formula. Eto yon. Diba? So, yan naman yung class, yung frequency distribution table. So, kung mapapansin po ninyo, ito yung class interval, 33 to 39. Yung 5 naman, yan yung frequency ng quartile class. Yung 32.5, that is the LB or lower class boundary. Tapos yung 21, kung mapapansin nyo, nasa baba siya ni 26, that is the less than cumulative frequency below. Okay, below. Kaya 21 yung below the quartile class. O now, para ma-solve po gamit yung formula, para mas madali, Coach Joy, i-identify muna natin ano yung mga value ng given variables para hindi sila mahirapan.
Yes. Para more on substitution na lang tayo, no, tutor?
Coach Joy?
Ayan. So, given that Q sub K is our third quartile, ibig sabihin ang value natin ng K ay 3, and we also have the lower boundary which is 32.5. So, saan galing yan? Since our quartile class is 33 to 39, bawasan natin ng 0.5 yung 33 na lower limit, kaya 32.5. Then, recall that K times N over 4 is 22.5. Yan yung galing sa ating step 1. Okay. Other given, wala na.
Opo. Now, we also have less than cumulative frequency below, again, 21, and the frequency of the quartile class, which is 5, and the last one ay, ang class size or class width is 7. Paano nakuha yung 7? Dito sa mga lower limit, ang difference nila ay 7. Sa upper limit naman, ang difference nila, 7 rin. Kaya 7 ang ating class size or class width. Now, mayroon na tayong mga given. Isa-substitute na po natin yan sa formula. Okay? Kung titingnan po ninyo, yung naka-yellow, Kn over 4 is equal to 22.5. Yan yung una nating sinolve. Okay? Po, sinubstitute ko na mismo yung value niya instead na K at N. Ito na. Ito na yung formula. Then, substitute tayo. Base sa formula, color-coded na rin para guided kayo. Q sub 3 is equal to 32.5, which is LB, plus 22.5, which is the Kn over 4, minus the less than cumulative frequency below, which is 21, all over 5, wherein ang 5, that is the frequency of the quartile class, times, we have 7, wherein that is the value of I. Coach Joy, ano yung sunod?
Of course, we will be applying yung GEMDAS, no? Kung halimbawang manual computation to. So, we will start by simplifying those expressions na nasa loob ng grouping symbol. So, syempre, 22.5 minus 21 is 1.5 all over 5. So, yan yung nasa second line natin. Then, simplifying 1.5 divided by 5 times 7, that gives us 2.1. And then, we will be adding these two values and that gives us 34.6. Ayan, tutor, ang ating result for Q3, Q sub 3 ay 34.6. What will be the next step? Meron pa po ata.
Okay, so dahil nakuha na natin ang third quartile, which is 34.6, we will interpret now the given problem. At ibig sabihin po niyan, anong ibig sabihin ng 34.6? So, eto na yung interpretation natin yan. Therefore, 75%. Bakit 75%? Kasi third quartile. Pag third quartile, 75%. Pag second quartile, 50%. Pag first quartile, 25%. So going back, therefore, 75% of the group of students have less than or equal to 34.6 reactions. Lagi po yung less than or equal to. Now, ano naman yung kabaliktaran niyan? Pwede naman na, ano yung other side ni 75 para maging 100? We have 25. Ano naman yung 25%? Yung 25% naman of the group of students have more than 34.6 reactions. Again, yung 25% naman ng mga estudyante ay may more than 34.6 reactions. Tama po ba yun, Coach Joy?
Ayan, tama po. And recalling po, di ba, syempre, ang isang buong part is always equivalent to 100%. So, gaya ng sinabi ni Tutor Ruel, kaya siya 75%, since ang isang buo at quartile ang pinag-uusapan, hinati ito sa 4, and we're talking about the third quartile, so that is 3/4 of 100%, kaya siya 75%. So, bali, pairing lang. Kung ano po yung given, kunyari 75%, ang kapartner niyang descriptor ay less than or equal to. Tapos yung na-compute nating value for that particular problem. Pero kung gusto natin yung other way of interpreting, so yung counterpart naman. So 100% minus, so ang given ay 75. Kaya yung ginamit ni Tutor Rowell na 25%, ang kapartner niya namang description ay more than. Ayan, have more than.
Yes, very good. Ang galing-galing ni Tutor Joy. Alam ko nakuha
Paano
po
po
yan,
ako sa inyo?
nakuha ni Mathletes Jillian, Judian. Okay, we also have Harchi. Okay, very good po. Now, this one is under quartiles. Pwede po ninyo Mathletes isulat yung formula, okay? Now, how about kapag yung problem naman natin ay decile? Same lang po yung process, okay? Again, we're going to solve the measures of possession, particularly decile naman of group data. So how are we going to solve that given problem? Ito na. To find the deciles, we will determine first the decile classes. Kung sa quartile we have quartile classes, sa decile naman, we also have decile classes. To do that, syempre gagamit tayo ng formula and that is Kn over 10. Bakit 10? Kasi decile. Pag quartile over 4, pag percentile over 100. Now, using the formula po to solve for the D sub K. Now, kung mapapansin po ninyo, almost pareho lang siya kay quartile. Ang pinagkaiba lang, ang denominator na ni Kn is 10. Tapos si D, yung Q, naginang D kasi decile. Okay po? Now, Coach Joy, ano po yung sunod?
Ayan. So, magiging mas familiar tayo ngayon sa formula kasi nagsimula tayo sa quartile, yun nga, so applying the properties of quartile na dinidivide sa 4 na equal parts ang buong part, dito naman sa deciles, 10 equal parts. Kaya matatandaan natin, nandyan pa rin ang lower boundary, pero doon sa loob ng grouping symbol natin, sa denominator ng Kn, nandyan ay 10 na ang divisor natin. So, wag po tayong malilito. But same process and same
Yes po.
description, nandyan yung
Yes, tama
cumulative
po si
frequency
Gian.
below. Diba po? Ayan.
Yes po. Okay, now, eto na yung problem. So, consider the frequency distribution on the number of Facebook reactions of cover photos of the different students. We will now calculate D sub 6 or the 6th decile. So, same frequency distribution table po tayo. So, we will now determine the 6th decile class. Para gawin yun, ito yung formula. Kn over po natin. What is K? That is 6. What is N? That is 30. Ang denominator, 10. Ngayon, 6 times 30 is 180. Divided by 10, that is 80. Anong ibig sabihin po niyan, Coach Joy?
Ayan. So, hahanapin natin ngayon kung saang class interval kabilang yung 18th position. So, nandoon ba siya sa class interval na 12 to 18, 19 to 25, 26 to 32? Ayan, tingnan natin. So, dahil between note that 13th to 21st data, kasama siya dun sa class interval. So, ibig sabihin, yung 18th data natin ay nandoon din sa class interval na 26 to 32. So, next ay highlight na kagad yan. Yan. So, yun po yung
Yes.
next step natin.
So again, 18th data. Kung kay 6, kulang pa. First 12, kulang pa rin. Papasok na siya kay first 21. So si 21 naman, under sa class interval na 26 to 32. So ibig sabihin, the 6th decile belongs to the class interval na 26 to 32. So Mathletes, pwede niyong sulatan kung sinulat niyo po yung frequency distribution table, i-mark nyo yung 26 to 32 that is the 6th decile class. Okay, ano yung sunod? Ito na. We are now going to compute the 6th decile using the formula. Ano yung formula? Ayan na. Tapos, ito na yung FDT. Ngayon, looking at this one, in-identify lang po dyan alin yung class interval. Alin yung frequency ng 6th decile. at ano naman yung lower class boundary at yung less than cumulative frequency below. So para mas clear po yung Tutor Joy, ilalagay pa rin natin yung mga given. Ano po yun,
Ayan.
Tutor?
So, big help talaga kapag nalilista muna natin ang given. So, we start with our 6 decile. So, yan yung ating D sub 6. At ang lower boundary natin ay 25.5 kasi ang ating D sub 6 ay, ang ating data ay nasa 26 to 32. Ang ating KN over 10 ay 18. At nandyan din ang value ng ating less than cumulative frequency below, which is 12. And ang ating frequency, which is 9. Ayan. Frequency ng D sub 6, which is 9.
Which is 9.
And ang class, ayan.
And
At ang ating class size, na 7.
So, eto na. Isosolve na po natin, Coach Joy. So, we have the 6th decile is now equal to 25.5 plus the difference of 18 and 12 all over 9 times the class size, which is 7. So, Matrix, sa pag-solve nito, kukunin nyo muna yung difference ni 18 and 12. Okay po? So, 18 minus 12, that is 6. So, 6 over 9 times 7, gamit yung calculator, masosolve natin siya as 4.67. Gamit yung calculator, ang lalabas po dyan ay repeating non-terminating decimal, which is 4.6666 and so on. So, round off natin, it will be 4.67. Now, i-add natin to get the 6th decile, it will now be 30.17. O Coach Joy, anong ibig sabihin naman yan? Ano po yung pwedeng maging interpretation natin for the 6th decile?
Ayan na. Because of the second problem, ang sabi, diba? So, ibig sabihin, we're talking about 60%. So, therefore, 60% of the group of students have less than or equal to, ano yung lumabas? 30.17. Ano yung gamit nating variable ng data na yan? Reaction, Facebook reactions. So, we say that there are 60% of the group of students have less than or equal to 30.17 reactions. Applying yung counterpart nito na interpretation. So, ano yung counterpart ng 60%? So, 100% minus 60%, that is 40%. Papalitan natin yung less than or equal to ng more than. So, paano natin sasabihin yun, mathletes? That therefore, 40% of the group of students have more than 30.17 reactions. Yan.
Yes, more than 30 reactions. Tutor Joy, tama po si Rayani niya, Gerald, Philip Ray, Julian, Judian, and okay, Michelle. So,
Ayan,
very good po.
nagko-compute din sila sa ating
Diba? Ang dali po
comment
to solve fitness of position gamit yung group data. Diba? Ang dali lang. Basta follow lang yung formula, yung step-by-step process. Huwag lang malilito sa pag-identify ng given. Okay po?
Yes. At nakikita natin, Tutor Rowell, na nakakasunod sila through the comment section. Ayan, nagsosolve din talaga sila. Okay, we can now proceed to the next part, which is, kung meron na tayong quartas, alam na natin paano i-compute ang decas. Now, let's learn how to compute the measures of position of group data for percentage. So, this time, ang isang whole part ay dinivide sa 100 equal parts. So, to find the percentage, first determine the percentile classes. The P sub K class is the class interval where the Kn over 100 data is contained. So, K times N over 100. And then, syempre, meron pa rin tayo ditong equation or formula. So, anong mapapansin natin sa loob ng grouping symbol natin or yung divisor ng Kn, yun lang naman yung difference comparing it with our decile and quartile formula. So, 100 na ang ating divisor. Ano pong next, Tutor Rowell?
Yes, okay. Again, yan na yung formula. Yung denominator ni Kn is 100. Okay. Now, given now that we have the percentile tapos yung formula, we're now going to solve for the 30th percentile ng given problem. Same problem tayo, pero hanapin natin ngayon this time, 30th percentile naman. So first step, We will now find the percentile class. Sa aling class interval ba papasok yung 30th percentile? So to do that, kn over 100 yung gagamitin natin. So k is 30. Bakit 30? 30th percentile. Times 30. Bakit 30 pa rin? Kasi that is the number of frequency or the number of students. And over 100. Bakit 100? Kasi percentile. Next, ang answer na dyan ay 9. Very good, Angelo Viloria Bitamog. Bakit 9? Kasi po, 30 times 30 is 900. 900 divided by 100 is 9. Very good din si Jillian Ibanez Manuel. Okay, now anong ibig sabihin yan? Since kn over 100 is equal to 9, that is the 30th percentile ay nasa 9th position. Pang 9 na position. So, saan papasok si 9? Kay 6 ba? Or kay first 12? Or kay first 21? So, since we have on the 9th position, kulang pa kay 6. Pero papasok na siya sa 7 to 12. So, it means that the 30th percentile ay nasa 19 to 25 na class interval. Very good, Angelo, Micah, Philip Ray, and Dave Leandro. So the 9th data is contained between the 7th and 12th data. So the 30th percentile now belongs to the class interval again of 19 to 25. O ano yung sunod? Since alam na natin yung class interval, the last step now is to solve using the formula. Coach Joy, ano na po yung gagawin?
Ayan, dahil alam na natin na yung class interval 19 to 25 ay yung nandoon nakalocate ang ating data na hinahanap, then we will identify the values of our lower boundary, frequency, cumulative, less than cumulative frequency below. So, lista natin. So, what are the given? Let's start with, so, ang ating P sub K ay ang P sub 30. And then, nandiyan din ang ating lower boundary, which is 18.5. Ayan, so, tama po si Harchi. Ang lower boundary ay 18.5. We also solve Kn over 100, which is 9. At aalamin natin ano kaya ang value ng less than cumulative frequency below. So, since ang katapat na cumulative, less than cumulative frequency below, less than CF ng 19 to 25 ay 12, ang nasa ibaba niya ay 6. So, 6 po ang less than CFB. And, ayan, nagsosolve din si Philip Ray. Ang frequency ay 6. Tama. And lastly, ang ating class size,
and
7.
Okay, now, alam na natin yung mga given. Tutor Joy, ang sunod, we will now substitute the given doon na po sa formula or equation. So, eto na. The 30th percentile is now equal to 18.5 plus the difference of 9 and 6 all over 6 times 7. Okay, na-substitute na natin. Next step is, okay, subtract natin. 9 minus 6 is 3. So, 3 over 6 times 7, ang sagot po dyan ay 3.5. Tapos, i-add natin, 18.5 plus 3.5 is 22. Ibig sabihin, the 30th percentile is equal to 22. Kung mapapansin ninyo, ang class interval natin ay 19 to 25. So, dyan din, pasok si 22. Again, sa 19 to 25, nandyan pa rin si 22 wherein that is the 30th percentile. O ngayon, anong ibig sabihin naman po ng 22 na yan? By the way, very good po, Kathleen, Julian, Jasmine, Janeline, Gerald, Ina, Angelo, Rianina, and Harchi. Okay, Tutor Joy, anong ibig sabihin po niyan? Anong pwede nating maging interpretation?
Ayan, so ang main interpretation natin will be, therefore, yan, conclusion natin, no, 30% of the group of students have less than or equal to 22 reactions. Now, Tutor Will, try natin, pasubok tayo sa mga mathletes na sila naman ang magsulat ng interpretation nila. Yung counterpart. So, if we're using here 30%, tapos ang descriptor natin ay less than or equal to, paano naman yung another interpretation? Sige nga po, pwede nating isend sa ating comment section. Yan,
Alam ko,
tingnan natin.
kaya nila yan. Magagawa
Yes.
din nila.
Opo, ang bilis nga din lang mag-solve kanina eh. Sinusundan nila yung line ng solution natin at meron kagad silang sagot na 22. Feeling ko kahit walang calculator, alam na alam ng mga mathletes ito. So, meron na bang nakapag-send? Ayan, Tutor Ruel. Ang sabi ni Ina Isabella that therefore, 70% of the group of students have more than 22 reactions, which is correct. At wag nating kakalimutan, mathletes, yung mga indicator natin ng conclusion. So, pwedeng therefore, thus, yung THUS, yan, in conclusion. So, pwede natin gamitin yung mga yon. At tama rin po si Hexel Josh A. Balimbin. Same answer, 70% of the group of students have more than. Ayan, ginamitan niya nga lang ng or equal to. So, dapat po have more than 22 reactions. So, be careful na lang po tayo sa mga words.
Okay, so very good, mathletes. So, yung iba siguro nagte-type pa. Pero again, alam po namin na tama yung nakukuha niyo yung process in solving and interpreting the given measures of position. Very good, Gerald. Therefore, 70% of the group of students have more than 22 reactions.
Yan,
So, very
complete.
good. Okay, now, Tutor Joy, alam natin na may mga natutunan sila, and that is about measures of position divided into 3, or under measures of position, may 3. We have quartile, decile, and percentile. Yung decile po, that is DECILE. So, pag quartile, divides the distribution into 4 equal parts. Pag decile, 10 equal parts. Pag percentile, 800 equal parts. Tapos, alam ko, Tutor Joy, di ba po na-solve nila yung given measure of position on the ungroup data, wherein ito yung mga formula.
Yun.
Yes. Paano naman po pag group data? Ano po yung, Coach Joy, yung mga formula? Familiar po?
Ayan, pag group data naman, yung kakapresent lang kanina, Tutor Ruel. Yan, with the presence of course, yung kailangan nating mga parts, lower boundary value, lower class boundary, tapos yung value ng K, ng ating N, tapos alam din dapat natin kung kailan gagamitin ang divisor na 4, 10, and 100. And of course, the important parts such as the less than cumulative frequency below, yung frequency ng ating quartile, decile, or percentile class, at syempre ang class width or class size ng ating distribution.
Yes. At dahil po dyan, Coach Joy, alam kong ready na kayo. Itanong ito sa mga mathletes.
Yes, excited na akong malaman kung ready na ba ang ating mga mathletes to take this quick check challenge for our quarter 4, week 4. So kung ready na kayo, press matibay. Ayan, i-type sa ating comment section hashtag matibay. Dahil alam ko, no, mula first quarter hanggang fourth quarter, nakatutok ang ating mga mathletes at ready lagi mag-solve ng ating mga math problems. Are you ready na raw si Philip Ray at si Harchi? Ganun din sila, Jillian. Ayan, simulan na po natin with question number 1. So for our quick check challenge, so Alice made a survey on the number of active Android applications her classmates have. The table summarizes the results. The class intervals contain the numbers of active Android applications, while the frequency is the number of students. Yan. Tutukan po nila yung table, no? What will be the question po for our quick check challenge, Tutor Roel?
Yes, for number 1, eto na. Mathletes, ready your pen, paper, and pencil, and simulan natin. Number 1, how many students, or N, were all involved in the survey? Is it A, 30, B, 40, C, 50, or letter D, 60? What is your answer?
Ayan na naman si capital letter N, or our total number of observation. So, pakilagyan ng item number at ang inyong sagot. A, B, C, or D? Nakakakita na po ako ng common answer, Tutor Roel. Their answer is C. Tama po kaya yun? C, 50?
Okay. Mathletes, you are definitely correct. The correct answer for number 1 is letter C, 50. That is the value of n.
So,
Ito na.
inad lang pala nila ang 3, 13, 10, 15, 8, and 1. For number 2, what is the lower boundary of the class interval where Q sub 3 or third quartile is included? Is it A, 10.5, B, 15.5, C, 20.5, or D, 25.5? So, ano kaya ang pwedeng unang gawin dito? Hanapin muna natin kung saan nakabilong or nakasama, naka-include yung Kate data natin, yung pang K data natin, no? Sa Q3. Saan yung Q3 natin belong na class interval? Then, after determining that, identify natin kung ano yung lower boundary nun. So,
Yes.
number 2, ano kayang sagot?
Sigurado ako, Coach Joy, ang ginagawa nila, tina-times nila yung 3 kay n, which is 50, tapos dinidivide by 4. Pagkatapos yung na-solve na yon, saan ba yun papasok? Sa first 1, first 9, first 24, or first 34 observations or responses? Saan kaya? Okay, siguro nagko-compute pa po sila kasi wala pang sagot. Okay, sabi po ni Jillian, letter D, kaya lang may question mark. Baka not sure. Sabi ni Jasmine, letter C. Okay, sabi ni D. Okay, eto na, Mathis. The correct answer for number 2 is letter C, 2.5. Okay, very good. Coach Joy, what is number 3?
Ayan, for number 3, which of the following is the D sub 4 class or the fourth decile class? So, is it A, 1 to 5, B, class interval 6 to 10, C, class interval 11 to 15, or D, the class interval 16 to 20. O, again, Mathletes, ang hinahanap natin ay yung fourth decile class. So, step 1 natin, di ba? Hahanapin natin. So, paano ang gagawin? For sure, Tutor Roel, minumultiply nila ang value ng K, which is 4, doon sa total number of observations o yung capital letter N na nahanap natin kanina, and that's 50. Tapos, i-divide natin sa ilan kaya? 4, 10, or 100 since it's decile. 10. Ayan. So, hintayin natin A, B, C, or D for number 3. Ang sagot po ni Jillian, ni Michelle, ay D. Si Hexel naman at si Jasmine, letter C. So, medyo dalawa po ang nagiging sagot, Tutor Roel.
Oh, ganito, Coach Joy, may bibigay din po akong tip. Di ba, 50, 50 yung frequency or total number natin dyan. So, talagay di sa 4, ibig sabihin, hindi pa siya kalahati. Si letter D na 16 to 20, 34 yung total frequency niya. Lampas na yun kalahati. So, ibig sabihin, hindi pwede si letter D. Therefore, the correct answer is letter C, 11 to 15. That is the interval ng fourth decile natin. Okay.
Ayan. So, may nakakuha naman ng tamang sagot, Tutor Roel. Medyo nalito lang nung una. Ayan.
Siguro,
So,
dalan po sa pag-solve. Okay lang yun, Mathletes. Okay po. So, ito na. Coach Joy, what is number 4?
So, for number 4, ang tanong naman sa atin, what is the fourth decile of the distribution? Okay, ang tanong what is the fourth decile of the distribution? Yung kanina sa previous item natin, ang tinatanong kasi ay yung class interval kung saan belong yung value ng fourth decile. So, dito, yung fourth decile value ang hinahanap. So, is it A, 14.17, B, 15.17, C, 16.17, Or D, 17.17. Yan. So, nasa step 2 na tayo. Yung kanina kasi pang step 1 yun, yung sa previous item. So, applying the formula that we've learned earlier, what is the fourth decile of the distribution?
Yes. So,
Yan.
Coach Joy, alam ko po na ang ginagamit nilang decile class ay yung 16 to 20. Tama ba? I know, yung 11 to 15. Ibig
Yung
sabihin,
11 to
ang
15. Ayan, tama.
lang LB ay 10.5. Ang gagamitin din na nilang less than cumulative frequency below, syempre yung 9. Kasi below. Tapos
Yes.
yung 1,
At ang
alam naman,
frequency,
yes, ang frequency ay 15. Tapos yung
15.
class size or class width ay 5. Okay, now, siguro
Yan.
at this moment,
Meron na kaya silang sagot?
habang
Tingin ko,
nagsusolve,
Tutor Rowell, makukuha, ayan, sige po. Tingin ko makukuha nila yan, basta hindi lang sila malilito ng tingin, lalo kapag ka less than frequency, yung less than cumulative frequency, tas below. Kasi ang tendency ng ibang students, titignan niya yung linya lang ng class interval na yon. So, tandaan, ang gagamitin ay yung below. Kasi kapag nag-subtract ka nung kapantay nun or mas mataas pa dun, magiging negative na yung number sa loob. So, kailangan
yes,
yung mas mababa yung babawas natin. Yan.
para lagi po yung given value ng data natin. Okay po, ng given measure. Now, the answer po, number 4 ay letter A. Ayun,
Ayan, it's
niya,
letter
basta ang
A.
top po is A, 14.17. Now, let's go to the last quick quick question. Eto na. What does it mean if the fourth decile is equal to 14.17? Is it A,
Ayun.
40% of the students have at least 14 active Android applications? B, 14 students have at least 40% of the active Android applications? C, 14 students have at most 40% of the active Android applications? Or letter D, 40% of the students have at most 14 active Android applications. Coach Joy, anong ibig sabihin ng at least and also ng
Ayan.
at most?
Ayan, in other word or in layman's term, pag sinabi natin mathletes na at least, pwede natin niyang i-equate sa minimum. 'Di ba? At least,
Yes,
so minimum. Tapos yung at most naman, maximum.
yes.
Minimum, hindi bababa. Maximum, hindi tataas. So, hindi lalagpas. Yun. So, ano kaya? A, B, C, D. Medyo nakakalito siya sa una, Tutor Rowell, no? Kasi yung 40% tsaka yung 14 biglang nagpapalit ng pwesto. Tapos,
Yes.
gumagamit tayo ng ibang descriptor. Pero alamin natin kung makukuha ito ng ating mathletes.
Sigurado ako makukuha nila yan. Another tip, Coach Joy. So kung titingnan natin, D sub 4 is 40%. 40% ano? Is it either Android application or students? So alam naman natin, ang natin na 40% ay the number of students. So in short, 40% students. Base sa mga option, ang may 40% na mga estudyante ay letter A at letter D na lang. So it's either A or D. Ngayon, ang next option naman, it's either at least 14 or at most 14. Oh, now, mathletes, the correct answer now is letter D. Ibig sabihin, 40% of the students have at most 14 active Android applications, or 40% of the students have less than or equal 14 active Android applications. Tama ba yun po, Joy?
Tama po yun, Tutor Rowell. So, kanina sa mga binigay nating example, when we are interpreting, ginagamit natin, for example, 40% kasi D sub 4 nga. Tapos, ang descriptor natin, di ba, have less than or equal to. Tama? Tutor Rowell, less than or equal to. Ibig sabihin, that is also equivalent to maximum value. Kaya yung indicator natin dito na at most, that is also maximum. So yun yung mga other way natin of describing or interpreting the given result.
And also, Coach Joy, gusto ko ring batiin si Hexel. Very good, naka 5. Same with Ina. And the rest of the athletes, may mga naka 4 din. Kay Renina, naka 5. Okay, the rest of the athletes, very good. Congratulations po. You did great this week. Okay lang kung naka 3, 2, 1. Okay lang po yan. Pwede natin i-review yung ating episode this week. Okay po? Very good, athletes.
Tama, Tutor Roel. So, i-ano natin no, i-reiterate na lang, Tutor Roel. Less than or equal to maximum, at another way is at most. Less than or equal to maximum value at most. Yan.
Okay po. And now, excited na rin ako sabihin ito. Mathletes, are you now ready to take the math challenge of the week? Alam kong ready na kasi again, you're always matibay. So eto na. Aurora and her friends made a survey on the daily allowance of their classmates. The table summarizes the results. The class interval contains the amounts of their allowances. The frequency is the number of students. Now, complete the table before answering the questions. Question. Una, what is the sixth decile of the distribution? Then, what does it mean if sixth decile is blank? So in short, for number 1, isosolve po ninyo yung sixth decile. Para magawa yan, hahanapin nyo yung decile class. After mahanap yon, solving now for the sixth decile gamit yung formula. Pag napunta yun, interpret. Therefore, blank. Tama ba, Coach Joy?
Tama po. So, huwag kakalimutan, ipakita yung complete solution. At dalawa yung binigay na task ni Tutor Roel, no? Binigay namin task ngayon for week 4. What is the sixth decile of the distribution and what does it mean if sixth decile is blank? So, may interpretation kasi hindi kompleto ang statistics, Tutor Roel, pag walang interpretation. Di ba po?
Yes, tama po. So this week, Tutor Joy, pinag-usapan lang natin ang measures of possession. So athletes, it gives us a way to see whether a certain point or value falls in a sample or distribution. So furthermore, it also tells whether a value is above the average or mataas or mababa sa average. From that, pwede makapag-come up ng decision kung ano ba yung gagawin. Usually, Coach Joy, ginagamit siya in terms of decision making sa education, di ba? Kumusta ba yung nakuwang score? Marami ba yung above average? Ilang percent ng ganitong score or what? Di ba po?
Opo, naalala ko yung Tutor Roel, kung familiar din ang ating mga mathletes, for example, they are given standardized exam. Kunyari, mga achievement exam, yung mga NCAI before, no? National Career Achievement Exam. So, ginagamitan din ito ng mga measures of relative position. So, usually, percentile pa nga, yung mga percentile rankings. Yan. So, makakatulong yan sa atin.
So, Coach Joy, bago tayo mag-end ng session natin, gusto kong batiin ang laging active sa ating DepEd ETUlay online tutorial, ang mga mathletes and coaches from Quirino National High School, San Mariano National High School, Ocampo National High School. Saan pa po?
Nandyan din po ang Culiat High School, lagi pong nakatutok sa atin. At ang SDO Camarines Sur, SDO Isabela, SDO Quezon City, lagi rin pong aktibo sa ating Facebook Live at YouTube channel. So, iilan lang din po yung nagko-comment ngayon dito sa nakatutok sa YouTube channel. So, shout out din po natin sila. Nandyan sila Adam Valencia at si Jason. Salamat sa pagtutok kahit kayo'y naka-YouTube channel. Ayan.
Thank you, Matthew. So again, I'm Tutor Roel from SDO Camarines Sur, your math coach in Math 10. Always reminding you that in ETUlay Math, there is an infinite number of learning opportunities.
And of course, this is also your tutor from SDO Caloocan City, Tutor Joy, and always reminding you that learning math is more fun when we can see and appreciate its beauty. Hope to see you again next episode. Bye
Okay.
po.
So, happy birthday, Tutor Joy.
Thank you so much po. Shout out po sa lahat ng bumate. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, hello, Tutor Joy.
Hello, Tutor Ruel.
Habang may time pa, alam ko po, may natutunan kuha nila kung paano mag-solve ng measures of possession. Kasi last week, how to...
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag ETUlay Level Up. Huwag aalis ha, dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan. Dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!